Thanks for staying with us. As the deadly Israel-Hamas conflict continues unabated, there are growing concerns over the humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. Israel has cut aid, water, electricity and fuel supply to the besieged Gaza, leaving over 2 million residents stranded. The Ahmed Kathrada Foundation has joined calls for the restoration of services to Gaza, describing the aid blockade as a genocidal campaign against the Palestinians. For more on this, I'm joined now by Neeshan Bolton, who's the Executive Director of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time. Perhaps give us more of your views on the latest developments in the Israel-Gaza conflict. I mean, you've described it as a genocidal campaign against the Palestinians.
Yeah, no, thank you very much and greetings to your viewers. I think we must see this not as Israel, just a conflict with people from Gaza, but it's really Israel and its occupation of the whole of Palestine that is at the core of this particular problem and the escalation of violence that we have now seen. I think what we are witnessing here is something that we've not seen before, but is the clearing out of Palestinians from sections of Gaza and attempts to get them to move to the Sinai Desert and hopefully for Egypt to then take them in. If this succeeds, the precedent will then be extended to the West Bank with attempts there to clear people out of the minimal land that they now currently occupy, given the large number of Israeli settlements that occupy much of the West Bank today. So what we are witnessing is the depopulation of Palestine, of Palestinians, and using all of the rhetoric and actions that have come after the Hamas attack, which we have spoken out against as well, as an excuse to now carry out this offensive, which is on a scale that we have probably never seen before, and hopefully the world will not allow to get to its logical end.
On a scale like we've never seen before, I mean, it speaks to an opinion piece which was written by Ahmed Kathrada in 2014, where he wrote about what he described as horrendous ongoing atrocities committed by Israel in Gaza, describing the level of force and violence and also talking about the highly destructive weapons and saying that based on such actions at the time, Israel will not solve its problem with the Palestinian people and it certainly will not bring peace to its own citizens. I mean, this was written in 2014, yet it relates to what's happening today and it's 2023. What does this tell us?
Well, it tells us that very little has changed in terms of the power relations, the use of force. What, however, has changed is the intention. We've seen the intention around Jerusalem to take over Jerusalem and to expel Palestinians from parts of Jerusalem, to occupy the Al-Aqsa Mosque and to have a Jewish presence in that mosque. Which was really inflammatory, and now we see an attempt to force people out of the northern parts of Gaza to the south, and thereafter most likely to extend that expulsion to the southern parts as well. So you've never seen this kind of mass expulsion on the scale that we've seen now. At the same time, the reports of attacks in the West Bank have come through. And you're seeing a number of people being killed there as well. So this is not just confined, the violence against Palestinians is not confined to Gaza only. It's been extended to the West Bank. And I think the fear is that all of those settlements in there will begin to be used as buffering points for an escalation of violence towards Palestinians who already have to live in these walled up territories, go through all kinds of military checkpoints daily. So there's already a siege in many parts of the West Bank that will now be escalated to the point of expulsion, which we think is what the world must realize could likely happen and must prevent from happening at all costs.
And with that comes the growing calls nationally and internationally for Israel to cease fire against the Palestinians and to open the water and electricity supply lines. What action would you like to see from the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court at this stage?
Well, I think the call has been made by DIRCO for the International Criminal Court to investigate all war crimes that have possibly been committed there, as well as the long-standing war crimes against the Palestinian people from 1948. That's certainly something that the ICC can no longer turn a blind eye to, because there have been accusations that it has not acted on Palestine the way in which it has acted in other parts of the world.
Do you think it will be enough to stop the orders? I mean, reading your statement, you speak about the Israeli defense minister on the 9th of October allegedly being very explicit with the aim to destroy the Palestinians of Gaza. Will it be enough?
We can only hope and pray that global opinion and the kind of mass solidarity that we're seeing across the board and across the world, including by many Jewish people across the world who are speaking out against this, we hope that their voices will be heard. The presence of the American president, although I think many would not, and we particularly don't like the kind of blanket support that has been given to Israel, we hope that his visit there and his presence persuades them not to go down this path of complete reckless madness.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for weighing in on this conversation. Executive Director at the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, Neeshan Bolton, also weighing in there amongst the growing calls internationally and nationally for the forces to stop the fire in Gaza.